There's an old story about a merchant with two donkeys. One donkey was slow and lazy, while the other walked quickly. Seeing this, the merchant transferred all the slow donkey's load onto the faster one. The lazy donkey was delighted, having no more burden to carry. When they reached town, the merchant thought, if one donkey can pull this much weight, why do I need two? So, he sold the lazy donkey to a restaurant, where it became dinner. The overworked fast donkey eventually collapsed from exhaustion under its doubled load. This is known as the slow donkey effect, and it applies to families as well. Many elders, like the merchant, mismanage their relationships with their children, often relying too heavily on one child while neglecting others. This imbalance can lead to family breakdown, where the burden of care becomes too much for one person. Elders who are treated well in old age aren't just lucky, they've shown wisdom in managing family relationships, fostering harmony and foresight during their middle years. 1. Don't play favorites. Don't leave all your money to one child. There's a post on Jihu where a young woman asked, if your parents gave all their money to your brother, would you still take care of them in old age? She shared how her parents gave their house and money to her brother, leaving her feeling like an outsider in her own family. Now that her parents are older, they want her to come home more often to help with housework and care for her brother's children. One respondent said bluntly, I would, but just enough to ensure they don't starve. Beyond that, I wouldn't do more. While filial piety is a duty, offering extra love and care is a choice. Once a child feels mistreated, it's difficult to rekindle that warmth. Many parents, particularly those who favor sons over daughters, don't realize the long-term consequences of favoritism. It creates two extremes. The favored child grows up spoiled, expecting everything to go their way, while the neglected child harbors resentment and may distance themselves from the family. A spoiled child often lacks both ability and a sense of duty, leaving parents disappointed when the time comes for them to take care of their elders. Parents may not be able to distribute love and resources perfectly, but they can strive to be as fair as possible, recognizing that unequal treatment breeds family strife. 2. Don't rely on just one child for your old age care. A common mistake some parents make is deciding that the wealthiest child, or the one with the biggest house, should be responsible for their care. But have they considered whether that child actually received significant help from them in life? What about the dynamics in that child's household, and how the in-laws feel about the arrangement? In families where a child has moved far away and achieved success, parents may feel proud, but relying solely on that child for care can be impractical. Sometimes, circumstances prevent even the most successful child from being available to care for aging parents. Consider the case of Zhang Juzheng, a high-ranking Ming Dynasty official. As the head of the imperial cabinet, he was incredibly busy and hadn't returned home in years. When his father passed away, Zhang faced the dilemma of leaving his prestigious position to mourn as tradition required, but he ultimately chose to stay, risking criticism to protect his career. His parents, who may have depended on him for old age care, likely suffered in his absence. Today, we still see similar situations where parents shower wealth on the child who moves far away or favor a particular child, only to find that this child is unable or unwilling to care for them in their final years. Meanwhile, the children left behind, often overlooked, are the ones expected to provide daily care. This creates a scenario where the fast donkey child is unfairly burdened, leading to frustration and burnout. 3. As you age, remember that no matter who you live with, you are still living with yourself. If your children don't show filial piety, don't rush to blame them. Instead, reflect on where things might have gone wrong and make necessary changes. Author San Mao once said, "The heart is like a boundless abyss, stretching for miles with no boat to cross it." In life, one must rely on oneself to cross this abyss and no one else can help. Creating a good environment for your old age begins with how you manage your family throughout life. The best support for old age is your own emotional and financial preparation. From middle age, focus on treating all your children well, even if your family isn't wealthy. Create a home environment where every child feels valued. When it comes to financial matters, involve your children in discussions and respect their opinions. The more they feel included and appreciated, the more likely they'll support you in your later years. In addition, start preparing for your own retirement. Having financial security, whether through savings or a pension, greatly reduces the burden on your children. When parents aren't economically dependent on their children, family harmony is easier to maintain, and caregiving becomes more of a shared responsibility. 4. In a healthy family, children progress together, and the parents guide them like drivers steering a cart. As parents age, their role changes from drivers to passengers. How well they guided their cart during their children's upbringing will determine how smoothly the family runs in later years. At the same time, children should remember that no matter what their parents did, filial piety is essential. If parents made mistakes, it's important to communicate respectfully, pointing out these issues before they cause lasting harm. An old saying reminds us, don't ask whether your children are filial, ask first whether you were kind. Family harmony depends on fairness, respect, and love. When parents treat all their children with kindness and equality, they are more likely to enjoy a peaceful and supportive old age.